We're going to take you on a scenic boat ride from Lugano to Gandria. We're in the south of Switzerland on Lake Maggiore, going to a beautiful lakefront village of Gandria. Leaving the city of Lugano behind for now, we've brought you there in another episode you can find on our YouTube channel. It's a beautiful waterfront city in the south of Switzerland. We're in the Ticino, where they speak Italian, and the culture is greatly influenced by nearby Italy. The boat trip does not go directly to Gandria at first. It goes in the opposite direction, over to the adjacent city of Paradiso, Paradise on the Lake. Pick up a few more passengers, perhaps. Paradise sounds pretty good, but actually the city looks like it's just packed in with apartment buildings clustered along the waterfront. The boat picks up a few passengers, then it leisurely turns around. We pass this giant geyser, a fountain that shoots up from inside the lake. On a day like this, it's perfect to sit up on the outdoor deck, or you could sit down below inside. It's very comfortable there as well. We're traveling in the month of November in Switzerland, and yet it's warm and sunny, especially because we're in the southern part of the country. Gandria is about 9 kilometers away from Lugano. That's just about 5 miles. It's pretty close. It just takes half an hour for the boat to go from Lugano to Gandria. And as we get outside of the city, now we're looking at some beautiful estates along the water's edge and lovely gardens. Here's the villa of the Thyssen-Bornemisza family. They had a private art collection which is now on public view in Madrid in a museum that they donated. It had been one of the world's greatest private collections. A few more villas along the way. There's a road that runs behind the houses, but a lot of people just get around by boat on the lake. It's easier that way. And then we come around the bend and get our first sighting of Gandria. It truly is a magical little village clinging to the hillside along the shores of Lake Maggiore. We'll be getting off here and taking a little stroll through the village and finding it is a pedestrian zone. There's no cars allowed in the village itself because the lanes are just much too narrow and steep. There'll be a boat ride out of here in 1 hour back to Lugano, so we don't have a lot of time, but it's enough. The village is only a few blocks wide and long, as you can see. We're going to show the whole thing to you. You could certainly stay longer and have a meal in one of these charming waterfront restaurants, or you could even spend the night. There's 3 little hotels here, but we're just having a short visit to get a feeling for this tiny village. As soon as you get off the boat, you can start exploring. You walk up the staircase on your left, or you can walk down the passageway on the right. We'll end up going both ways. As we walk along and begin our little climb, we're greeted by a welcoming committee, a friendly local cat. That's the first of a few little surprises as we wind our way around these narrow lanes and bends and turns and twists and discovering. Always fun to discover someplace new for the first time. An old grindstone from the days when they made olive oil produced from their local orchards. Nowadays it seems like there are more artists than farmers living in Gandria. And we came across the studio of an artist who creates paintings and ceramics for her gallery. Very friendly lady. A lot of the residents here are from families that go back many generations. There's about 200 people living here year-round and several cats. He was about the only person around on the sidewalk, so we had some fun following him along, give him another rub as we walk on down the hill. It was really an easy climb. It's like going up maybe 5 flights of steps at most. You quickly get back down towards the lake level, and then the path continues along out the other side of the village, where you can gain a little view across the lake, see where they stash their boats in their little garage boat sheds. It's a pretty view, and if you were spending the night, you could stay at a little hotel that's right on the waterfront with that view right out your window. Got curious about the restaurant scene. Even though we're here in mid-afternoon, not really the meal hour, but it was a beautiful setting. You could have a nice table and look right out on the water, very tranquil. That would make the food and wine taste even better. The earliest record of this village goes back to about the 14th century, and some of the houses that we see here today are several hundred years old, and there's a church that's nearly 400 years old. Of course, we've timed our little excursion so that we're waiting down by the dock as the boat comes in, because the boats only come through here about once every hour and a half, so you don't want to miss the boat. Just keep your eye on the schedule and hop on board and off you go. Watch the accuracy of this rope toss. It was like threading the needle from 20 feet away. So good, we're going to watch it again in slow-mo. Okay, back on the boat for our return journey back to Lugano. Another half-hour boat ride. And of course we get some more very nice views of Gandria as we slip away. We got lucky with the weather because it was cloudy bright while we were walking around and very comfortable temperature. And as we got on the boat, it started to drizzle a little bit, so we got out of there just in time. Upon arrival back in Lugano, the weather cleared up for us. This time we're sitting below deck, so we enjoyed the upper deck while we could coming out here. But now it's nice to have the comfort and coziness of the cabin down below. Have a look at the map, see where we've been. And we arrived pretty quickly back at Paradiso on our way to Lugano. This episode actually marks the end of a very long series that we've been presenting about our tour through Switzerland. We began 2 weeks ago in our journey, traveling from Lucerne to Interlaken and on to Zermatt, down to Locarno. And that's about all we're going to be showing you for now in this series. You can catch it all on our YouTube channel, and we will be presenting you even more episodes of Switzerland in the future. We have 1,000 movies about Europe on our travel channel with YouTube, so take a look. Returning once more to Lugano.